This programme is powered by Hankook tyres, Autosportinsurance.com, Valero race and rally base layers, and Magla, create your own digital magazine. Welcome to the Supercar Challenge powered by Hankook. This is the third round of the championship for the GT and touring car classes at the beautiful Spa Francorchamps in the Belgian Ardennes. We'll bring you the action from both 1 hour races, including crucial moments in the GT, Supersport and Sport Championships, after which at least two classes have new championship leaders. A 7-kilometre long circuit that is probably better known worldwide than the country in which it's located. This is Spa Francorchamps in Belgium. The legendary Eau Rouge and a Raidillon combination sees an elevation change of over 40 metres. The track started as a street circuit in 1922. Raidillon was built in 1939, and it wasn't until early this century that it stopped being public road and was turned into a permanent race facility. For the 17th consecutive season, the Supercar Challenge powered by Hankook has become part of the Spa Euro races in June. As the grid assembles for the first of the two races for the third time this season, the pole sitters in the GT class are Bas Schouten and Waard Sluys.
Honestly,
we expected the Porsches to be much quicker around here, said Bas. They've got a much higher top speed, but actually we're not disappointed by our pace. With just 15 result seconds going into the first race, I think we can do well. Maybe we're not going to win it today, but we'll try anyway. Second on the grid, 2015 GT champions Donald Molenaar and Patrick Lamster make their first appearance of the season. Donald set some impressive times already, but I'm still getting used to the car after a couple of years out of it. I need to improve a lot, but I'm not just going to sit back and let them run over me. I'll go attack immediately and try and stay with the front runners. It's great to be back and joining Patrick again. We had a lot of fun 2 years ago. We ended up winning the championship. I guess we could try and win a game, but that's not what we're here for this weekend. Patrick invited me to come and have some fun for old time's sake, and we're going to see what we can do with the 991. We'll have to see how it goes. Championship leader Roger Graals qualified third with his Porsche 991, but he has an additional handicap for the race. We've gained some weight because we've upgraded the exhaust. We no longer comply with the power to weight ratio, so we had to add 20 kilos of ballast, but that's the way it goes. Pole position in the Supersport 1 class goes to reigning Supersport champions Martin de Klein and Dennis de Borst for the first time this year. I think we've got a very slight car advantage, says Dennis, but it's a long race, so we're going to have to see how our car performs compared to the others, but I'm looking forward to some close racing. Eric van der Munkhoff will be looking forward to surviving the races here in Spa with no major accidents. Ready for the rolling start. 111 is your pole sitter. That is Bas Schouten. 32 degrees, beautiful conditions for racing on this hot track. Patrick Lamster's Porsche alongside the black Porsche of Roger Graals lines up in third place. Brother Edward in ninth on the grid, getting ready to go. Lights are on, and the race is underway. Bas Schouten trying to cover off Roger Graals in the black Porsche with the black and white stripes. Patrick Lamster, but around the outside, good move. John de Vilde with the green on the bonnet moves up into second position. Can he hold it on the exit with Bob Herbert? Fifth place Mark van der Aar in the black BMW. Little bit of contact there as van der Aar shuts the door. Bas Schouten leads into Eau Rouge, but look at John de Vilde right behind. The white Porsche with the green highlights. Roger Graals third ahead of Patrick Lamster. And everybody safely into Eau Rouge, and here comes the Porsche. Great exit out of Eau Rouge in the slipstream and with better top speed. Through into the lead, but Bas Schouten fighting around the outsiders to get to Les Combes. Battle for third as well. Schouten can't hold it on the track. Comes back on in front. Bob Herbert in sixth position. Fifth place BMW Mark van der Aar right in front of him. Van der Aar having a little look down the inside. Is he? No, not quite, but around the outside. Bob Herbert being brave. This is for fifth. Right in front, Patrick Lamster, the white and black car. There's Mark van der Aar still there. Going left now. Van der Aar on the outside. Hangs on to the position. Little squiggle from Patrick Lamster in front. So it is the BMW that is in front, and then the battle of the Porsches. Roger Graals all over the back of John de Wilde and Patrick Lamster with two cars in the mirrors, and Mark van der Aar trying to come back up inside Bob Herber at the bus stop. That was close, don't think there was contact. Roger Graals looking for second from John de Wilde, can't get through. Patrick Lamster in fourth position, Bob Herber with the inside line. Mark van der Aar goes the long way around the outside. Herber with a better exit from the corner. Mark van der Aar can't quite hang on, but he is still right there. Leaders up the Kemmel Straight. Bas Schouten with the race lead. Roger Graals looking for second place, and through he goes ahead of John de Wilde. So he moves up from third on the grid to second. Bob Herber still chasing Patrick Lamster, the 2015 GT class champion. And in the mirrors still is Mark van der Aar's black and blue BMW M4 Silhouette with Dan Meyer right behind, and again down the inside Mark van der Aar. That car is really good under braking, and he has a little rub, and through he goes. Well, Mark van der Aar lost out to Bob Herber this place last lap. Now he's up to fifth place. Bob Herber, who started eighth, is back down to sixth position, but still on the attack. Best of the BMW M4 Silhouette still leading, Bas Schouten. Roger Graals in second place, John de Wilde in third, then the battle for fourth. Patrick Lamster just ahead of Mark van der Aar, Bob Herber and the white car of Dan Meyer. Patrick Lamster hasn't raced in a season and a half, and it's starting to show, isn't it? Mark van der Aar goes around the outside. Bob Herber looking for a place as well. Is he going to do the outside line? Yes, he is. As they start the climb from Stavelot, he's moved up down into La Source. Dan Meyer all over the back of Patrick Lamster. The Porsche drifts out a little wide. The BMW alongside it. Good traction off the corner as well. Pulling gears as fast as he can. The Porsche's got the speed though. Down into Eau Rouge. Patrick Lamster back in front. Dan Meyer in that all-white BMW M4 Silhouette right behind him. There's Mark van der Aar and Bob Herber, fourth and fifth. Patrick Lamster in sixth, Dan Meyer in seventh position in number 121, just one spot down from where he started. Behind him, Art Bosman and Edward Graals, not close enough to worry him at the moment. Dan Meyer goes the long way round the outside as we start to drop down the hill. So Dan Meyer now up to sixth position. Patrick Lamster from second down to seventh. Here's how the race started in the Supersport 1 class, on board with Peter Schoyes in his orange BMW. Dennis de Boerst, the pole position sitter on the left-hand side. There's Eric van der Munkhoff. Wow. And somehow Schoyes found a gap through the middle. Look at them as they sweep into the corner, still three wide at La Source. Yellow nose, that's the championship leader, Costa Canaroglu, drifting out very wide. So did Robert van der Berg in the BMW 1 Series. Got ahead of Dennis de Boerst though for third place. In front is the orange BMW Peter Schoyes. Right on the tail of the white and black BMW, just there, that's Eric van der Munkhoff. Costa Canaroglu a long way down as they sweep onto the Kemmel Straight with Dennis de Boerst. Van der Berg in front, the orange car, Schoyes in front of him. And right behind is the Lotus, here it comes. Roland de Waard using the slipstream to come up the inside of Dennis de Boerst. And so is Van der Berg, looking to the inside of Schoyes for second in the class, right behind Van der Munkhoff. All little contact between them. Which way are we going to go? Who's going to come off best? Maybe go to the inside. Schoyes and Van der Berg still there. Schoyes holds second, Van der Berg third. We're going down the inside. Having fought off the Lotus, slow car in front. That's the Marcos Mantis of Coroiza in the GT class. Little bumping and boring there through Bruxelles. This is still the battle for third position. Oh, a late lunge down the inside. What a good move. Dennis de Boerst takes third. Eric van der Munkhoff said for there. Then the orange BMW Peter Schoyes ahead of Dennis de Boerst. Championship leader there with the yellow nose. Seventh, Costa Canaroglu. Supersport 2 class leaders in amongst the Supersport 1 front runners as well. Look how tight this is. There's Van der Munkhoff, then Schoyes, then de Boerst, then Van den Berg, Roland de Waard, Ollie Taylor, the leader in Supersport 2 in his BMW M3. On board now with Dennis de Borst in third place. And there is Robert van den Berg right behind. Oh, and here we go up the Kemmel Straight. All cars everywhere, getting very close. 3 wide. Dennis de Borst waves his fist there. Erik van der Munkhoff in front. Peter Scheuers with the inside line, but not close enough. And around the outside goes Dennis de Borst. Can he hang on? No, he can't. Yes, he can. No, he can't. He's in third. And Robert van den Berg right there in the BMW 1 Series GTR. 3 BMWs in the Seat, all the BMWs with a 3.2 litre engine. And the Seat with a 2 litre turbo, definitely holding its own and suffering less understeer here, even though it's front wheel drive, at least on corner entry. All over the back of Peter Scheuers. This is where he had a massive lunge to move up to third place. Caught Robert van den Berg by surprise. He's getting down the inside of Peter Scheuers here as well. Looking through on the inside, through he goes. Tell you what, Dennis de Borst works very well on these downhill sections. The BMWs with their rear drive can't hold a candle to him. He's closing in on Erik van der Munkhoff. There's the 5th place car of Ollie Taylor. Supersport 2 leader ahead of Teunis van der Grift, Costa Canaroglu. On board with Dennis de Borst once more. Looking to go around the outside for the lead into the bus stop. Oh, very tight indeed. No contact there though with Peter Scheuers. Scheuers right behind with the orange BMW M3 GTR. Had a better exit off the corner. Look at the driver's mirror on the left-hand side. The BMW's creeping alongside into La Source. Late lunge by Scheuers to try and go around the outside. And Dennis de Borst couldn't brake late enough. So he's back down to third. Another quick tighten of the belts. Why not? You're going down into Eau Rouge. And here comes Robert van den Berg. 1 Series looking to the inside. No, not there, I don't think. That's probably quite sensible. Compromised his line into Eau Rouge and look up Radillon. He's losing out on the Kemmel Straight though. Dennis de Borst in the slipstream of the 2 BMWs in front. Oh, and Peter Scheuers on the grass trying to go inside. Can he hold on to it? Well, his cooling ducts will be absolutely full of grass. Up to second place. Yeah, they are. Look, very green. And take a look again on board with Peter Scheuers. Tries to go outside, then inside, and unfortunately Erik van der Munkhoff moves over. I'm not sure he knew where Peter Scheuers was at that stage, but either way, big moment for Scheuers. Peter Scheuers has stopped. Why doesn't he just take the grass out?
Had gekund, had ik er echt heel vroegtijdig bij moeten zijn.
Clearly that might have been an option, but I should have stopped straight away to do that. I wasn't very confident the car would restart though once it was overheated. The risk of damage in the engine was pretty high. They've got very special pistons, they're very fragile, they can't take too much torture. Even the tiniest of fractures of the piston would mean detonating the engine, and that would be the end of our weekend with conrods coming out through the bonnet, so had to stop. No let up in the action though for race leader Erik van der Munkhoff. Dennis de Borst all over the back of him. The Seat Leon driver looking for the lead. Right behind Robert van den Berg around the outside in Bruxelles. Van der Munkhoff, last 2 times out at Spa, has been involved in massive shunts. Will desperately want to avoid that this time. But of course, a racing driver always wants to win. Up to the bus stop, and Van der Munkhoff and Dennis de Borst have been joined by Robert van den Berg. Van den Berg now all over the back of the second place Seat Leon. Here we go, having a look again down into Eau Rouge, down the inside. Really, has he got enough of an overlap? Yes, he does. Just squeezes by into second place. Find out who triumphs in race 1, and there's still lots more action to come from race 2 after this. This programme is powered by Hankook tyres, Autosportinsurance.com, Valero race and rally base layers, and Magla, create your own digital magazine. Welcome back to Spa Francorchamps, round 3 of the Supercar Challenge powered by Hankook. We're in the first race, where in Supersport 1 there's a battle for the lead, which has seen Peter Schroyers be competitive, but then drop out of contention. Schroyers' car brings out a full course yellow, which means a maximum of 80 kilometers an hour. When it goes back to green though, it's instantaneous. Robert Vandenberg is awake, and he grabs the lead of Supersport 1 from Erik van der Munkhoff, who misses the green. And there's a similar story in the GT class as well. Dan Meyer in the BMW Silhouette blasting by Bob Herber as they go green, Herber losing 5th place. Bas Schouten leading the race in the M4 Silhouette. From the Porsches, Roger Graals in 2nd, having a monster moment at the bus stop. Jon de Wilde in 3rd, and then the BMWs of Mark van der Aar and Dan Meyer van der Aar lunging around the outside of de Wilde. And the Porsche just hangs on the outside. White BMW M4 Silhouette of Dan Meyer, now he's got by Bob Herber, closing in on this battle. There's the black car, Mark van der Aar in front. Porsche goes defensive, down the inside though, little chuntering as he locks up, but Dan Meyer goes by Mark van der Aar for 4th. Mandatory pit stops Patrick Lamster in to hand over to co-driver Donald Molinar. Lamster unable to hold his rivals off, slipped down the order, hasn't raced for a season and a half. They have 20 result seconds, this year's result seconds half of last year's, but that means they come out right behind race leader Bas Schouten after their early stop. Donald Molinar taps the BMW, fortunately doesn't create much damage. Not a battle for the lead, Molinar is a lap behind, Schouten has yet to come in. Mark van der Aar hands over to Koen Bogaerts, 0 result seconds for the duo. Dan Meyer also with 0 seconds in the white Silhouette. He's yet to finish a race this season, while Mark van der Aar, co-driving in Austria with Peter van Solen, failed to finish on the podium as well. Well, they both close on leaders, Bas Schouten and Vaard Slice, but they remain in the lead after the pit stops with just 15 result seconds. Dan Meyer mistimed his pit stop, so again has to pass the black BMW. Koen Bogaerts the battle for 2nd place, and Meyer goes around to the outside at Les Combes. Stuck in traffic, that's the Supersport 1 car of Erik van der Munkhoff in front of Dan Meyer, trying to find a way by. There's a Sport Class Clio as well, and around the outside, Koen Bogaerts takes advantage of that, grabs 2nd place back. Good battling between the two, using traffic well there, Koen Bogaerts. Dan Meyer caught out, boxed in and lost 2nd place, but they are still 2nd and 3rd, with the other BMW M4 Vaard Slice leading the race. Mandatory pit stops in Supersport 1. Dennis de Borst bringing the car in to hand over to Martin de Klein. They started on pole position, but only came in 3rd spot.
Ja, we hadden wel een mooie strijd. Ik had wat mindere start.
Had some good battles, said Dennis, but I'm not too happy with the start. After a few laps, the left door window came loose, so I had to hold it in with a hand. Had a great fight with Erik van der Munkhoff. He was all over the place defending. A few times it actually got a little dangerous. I saw Schroyers going through the grass. He was pushed off the track. It's not really what I'm used to in this championship. The team had tried to gaffer the window back on, but it's still not holding, flapping away furiously. Martin de Klein decides to get rid of it. Costa Canaroglu struggling to keep the pace up with his Ginetta, not doing well on these fast Grand Prix style circuits. Hangs on to 4th place after the pit stops, as Benjamin Vandenberg, who'd taken over from brother Robert, leads from Henry Zumbrink, who'd taken over from Erik van der Munkhoff. Battle wheel to wheel going down into the hairpin at La Source. Henry Zumbrink getting used to van der Munkhoff's BMW Z4 after years racing the Volvo S60 V8. Always a doughty competitor. Gets the run down into Eau Rouge. Who's going to call it off in the end? Zumbrink decides the inside line might not be the best. He decides that he's going to tuck now into the slipstream behind Benjamin Vandenberg and try and pass him up the hill. 3.2 litre GTR engines in both of these BMWs, and straight by goes Donald Molinar in the GT class Porsche as Benjamin Vandenberg just hangs on to the Supersport 1 lead under braking. Henry Sundbrink all over the back of him though, through Les Combes, but as they start the rush down the hill, the BMW Z4 is still right there, the 1 Series just in front. Sundbrink looks inside, the door is closed. Benjamin van den Berg then back onto line for the double left-hander at Pouhon. And Sundbrink piling the pressure on. Very even machinery here, slightly different body shapes, but predominantly the same kind of running gear. And again, Benjamin van den Berg trying to hang on the inside into Piff Paff. Around the outside goes Henry Sundbrink. Bold move to take the lead of the class by inches. Bart Slijs leading in the BMW M4 Silhouette. Koen Bokaerts in second place in the blue and black machine, but problems for Dan Meyer. His 5th retirement of the season drops him out of 3rd. Now the engine has stalled, he's saying. But in fact, it's not a major issue. Turns out that they've just broken a drive pulley and the car will be easily repairable. Victory for Bart Slijs and Bas Schouten in the GT class. From Koen Bokaerts, Mark van der Aert and Roger Graals finishing 3rd in the Porsche ahead of Patrick Lamster and Donald Molenaar. Lamster still needs to blow away a few of those cobwebs if he wants a podium finish in race 2. Happy young man with dad after that 2nd win of the season. I think the organisers are doing a really good job. In some places the Porsches are quicker, in other places we are. I've said it before, but this is a really great championship and I really hope to see more drivers joining in next season again. Supersport 1 victory went to the BMW Z4, Henry Sundbrink and teammate Erik van der Munkhoff. Benjamin van den Berg, much improved this season, holding off Martin, declined by half a second, but couldn't stay with former Super GT driver Sundbrink. I was a little quicker than him, decided to play the waiting game, said Henry, trying to make him nervous and force him into a mistake. Then they told me over the radio there was a lap left, so I had to really push. I kept my car on the outside in Piff Paff, slowed him down in the middle, grabbed the lead and held it to the flag. In Supersport 2, Englishman Ollie Taylor led the race before the pit stops, but because of his results seconds, the West Suffolk Racing BMW driver ended up behind Belgian Jimmy Adriaansens and had to do all the hard work once again. Eventually he got by though into Eau Rouge, Adriaansen trying to cling on, but finding out that the Seat didn't quite have what it needed. Trying to stay in the tow, but the BMW driving away. Another Brit on the podium in 3rd place, just 4 seconds behind the leader, and also in a Seat Leon was Michael Smith. But it seems that the long, fast Spa circuit suited the BMW best. Every lap I lost a second to the BMW, said Jimmy. He couldn't gain on me in the braking areas or on cornering speed. It was pure straight line speed. You can see it clearly from the onboards. So on the exit of Radion, the BMW just pulled away from you. Towards Les Combes, there's nowhere making up for that lost ground. So a shame I couldn't keep the lead, but I'm happy with 2nd. Leading the sport class, but still starting way back on the 40-car grid, the Peugeot RCZ of Chris Vogt and Bart van der Broek, the championship leaders. But the red Alfa 147 GTA of Sander van der Slot took the lead at La Source. Van der Broek slipstreamed up behind her and overshot his braking into Les Combes, losing control and making contact with the Alfa. The Alfa was out on the spot. Sander van der Slot absolutely furious. The Peugeot wasn't badly damaged and was able to continue. But the previously pristine Alfa certainly needs a little bit more TLC. Following that incident, Jos Vilboer in a Renault had taken 2nd in sport, but then he has a massive tank slapper from Eau Rouge into Radion. And unsurprisingly, teammate Bart Drost in the blue and black Renault grabbed 2nd place from him. In fact, the top 3 are all Spirit Racing drivers, but team principal Rob Neiman, leading the race, didn't see the green lights after the full course yellow, and he too was jumped by Bart Drost and then by Bart van den Broek, going down to 3rd spot. Van den Broek recovering well after the lap 1 crash, and he slipstreams up behind the Renault Clio to grab the lead in the Peugeot RCZ. A lead they'd hold to the flag, claiming victory despite that first lap kerfuffle. So Bart van den Broek and Chris Vogt, chatting to his wife on the phone, claim top points ahead of Rob Neiman and Bart Drost. Supersport 1 points leader Costa Canaroglu getting ready for race 2. He's now just 3 points ahead of Henry Tumbrink and Eric van der Munkhoff, and he's really got his work cut out for him. They start at the front of the field. In 10th, he's in 15th on the grid. Pole sitter in the GC class, of course, Donald Molinar in the Porsche that he shares with Patrick Lamster. Bas Schouten and Vard Slice's BMW starts on the outside of the front row, ahead of the Porsche of John de Wilde and Mark van der Aar, and Koen Bokaert's BMW M4 Silhouette, started by van der Aar. 38 degrees track temperature for race 2, beautiful weather conditions. And finally the Porsche gets moving as they head off on the final formation lap. On board with Bob Herber as he starts in 6th on the grid. Donald Molinar on pole in the white and black Porsche. Ahead of the field, Bas Schouten alongside him. Ready for the rolling start of race 2. Lights are on, holding formation, and away we go. Bob Herber looks around the outside. The blue car, Mark van der Aar, not quick away. Dan Meyer down the inside in the white BMW, but it is Donald Molinar who takes the lead into the first corner. And 3 BMW silhouettes side by side. Very wide out goes Bob Herber. Does he keep momentum up? Well, he gets in front of Mark van der Aar. Bas Schouten in 2nd. White car in 3rd place is Dan Meyer from 5th on the grid. And then Bob Herber from 6th position on the grid. On board with Roger Graals, he started in 7th place. Right in front of him is John de Wilde. As they climb the long, fast Kemmel Straight, Donald Molinar with the lead. Bas Schouten in 2nd place. And 3rd place is Bob Herber. Whoa, and lunging down the inside. Late lunge from Roger Graals. That worked well for him. Mark van der Aar eased down the order out of La Source for the first time. He's in 8th place now. Edward Graals right in front of him, rushing down to Bruxelles. Graals with the inside line. Mark van der Aar confident in the grip of his tyres, goes the long way round the outside. Graals not able to chase the throttle. So van der Aar up to 8th, Graals down to 9th. And the 2 cars in front, Roger Graals leading John de Wilde. Well, let's take a look at how that happened at the start. From John de Wilde's viewpoint, Dan Meyer on the right, the blue and black car in front, that is Mark van der Aar. In the middle here, drifts out wide, big bobble over the curbs. Bob Herber goes around the outside. He's lost so much traction on that AstroTurf, though, that he doesn't get off the corner, and everybody just leaves him behind. And John de Wilde's progress continues. Look, he's braving a move around the outside into the beginning of Eau Rouge, going by Roger Graals, but lacking traction there. Dead duck on the way up the hill. Roger Graals comes back at him. Lead battle, Donald Molinar Porsche, Bas Schouten BMW, then Bob Herber Porsche, Dan Meyer BMW, then Roger Graals Porsche, John de Wilde Porsche, and Mark van der Aar BMW. With van der Aar out of Piff Paff and drifting out wide. John de Wilde just giving the place away there under pressure from the BMW driver. Donald Molinar holding off Bas Schouten. Lead battle continuing to rage. Schouten with the BMW right there, trying to go the long way around the outside once more. Can't do that as you drop down into Stavelot and start the climb back up the hill. Both scrabbling for grip, both off wide on the AstroTurf. Gentlemen, the racetrack's on the right-hand side here. Eventually they regain terra firma. Nothing gained, nothing lost. On board with Roger Graals, Bob Herber in front. Great slipstreaming run up to Les Combes. Porsche versus Porsche, and Roger Graals goes a long way around the outside. Bob Herber still getting used to Porsche racing, first time in the car this season. With Bas Schouten, battle for the race lead. Porsche versus BMW Silhouette. BMW hard on the power, out of Pouhon. Can he go around the outside into Piff Paff? He's going to have to be very bold. If you can stay out there, you can block the exit. And he just clings on. Good pass for the lead. May not all be over yet, though. Donald Molinar gives him the thumbs up for some clean racing as the battle for the lead continues. Pitboard adjusted by a quick-thinking member of the team. Supersport 1 lead battle just as close. There's the leader, Erik van der Munkhoff, right in front as we ride with Dennis de Borst. Could he be any closer? Only if he was actually in the back of the BMW Z4. Marcel van der Maat in third place. But there's a view back from van der Munkhoff's Z4. Fantastic battle behind them for third place. The orange car, Marcel van der Maat. Ruud Olly goes around the front of him, and Benjamin van den Berg is right there with Costa Canaroglu and Ollie Taylor, who's leading Supersport 2 in his BMW M3. There's Van den Berg on our left, around the outside of Marcel van der Maat, down towards the hairpin at La Source. And Van der Maat just holds on. Look behind, Ollie Taylor dive bombs Costa Canaroglu. Looks like he got through on the inside. Leaders into Eau Rouge. And looks like Van der Munkhoff is starting to pull away from Dennis de Borst. Dab of the brakes, Van der Munkhoff in trouble, squirreling through the corner. Here's the chance for de Borst. Flies by up the hill. Wow! There's the battle for fourth in Supersport 1. The orange car, Marcel van der Maat, looking back as Benjamin van den Berg tries to come up the inside and then the outside. The long way round out of Rédillon and up the Kemmel Straight. Who's got the horsepower? Well, neither of them. Dennis de Borst leads Erik van der Munkhoff, third place Ruud Olly, and this battle is for fourth still. Marcel van der Maat hangs on in front of Benjamin van den Berg. Oh, van den Berg going the long way around the outside. Mistake by van der Maat. There's contact. Avoid that if you can. Long way back to the pits if you puncture a tyre here. Looks like Benjamin van den Berg squeezed by Marcel van der Maat, trying to fight back though. Bumping him in the middle of Bruxelles. Beau Rivage as it used to be called. Leaders not far away. Close battles all the way down this Supersport 1 field. Fantastic close racing between some very different cars. Dennis de Borst easing away as Erik van der Munkhoff and Ruud Olly contest second. Benjamin van den Berg ahead and Marcel van der Maat. Costa Canaroglu struggling behind Ollie Taylor, the Supersport 2 leader. Back with our GT leaders, Pascalton and Donald Molinar, pulling away from the field. The BMW being hounded by the Porsche every inch of the way. And here is the battle between Mark van der Aar and Bob Herber for fifth. Van der Aar inside. Now Herber has the inside line. Can Van der Aar keep the power down over the curbs and run down to La Source? Looks like he's got a slender advantage. In front is the Porsche of Roger Gras. Wow, look at the traction and early acceleration phase of Bob Herber. Mark van der Aar, though, covers the inside of the corner off. Bob Herber tries to cut back underneath him. Van der Aar didn't quite run wide enough, but Herber's got better momentum down the hill. And he will have the position and the racing line going into Eau Rouge, and Van der Aar knows it. Little lift and then drilling the power the long way up this hill. Huge long Kemmel Straight. There's the leaders, Pascalton, Donald Molinar. Not even a car length in it. Molinar closing under braking. Scouten just easing away under acceleration. Lead battle in Supersport 1. Ruud Olly all over the back of Dennis de Borst, having disposed of Erik van der Munkhoff. De Borst passed around the outside at the bus stop. Lead of the race goes to Ruud Olly, but not for long. After starting from the pits in race 1 because of brake problems, comes in with a fuel pressure issue before the pit stops. Problems too for Marcel van der Maat. Monster lock-up at Les Combes, and that is enough at Spa to send anyone scrambling for the pits. With the high speeds on this track, you need to trust your brake pedal. This programme is powered by Hankook tyres, Autosportinsurance.com, Valero race and rally base layers, and Magla. Create your own digital magazine. Welcome back to round 3 of the Supercar Challenge powered by Hankook. We're at the fabulous Spa Francorchamps where Bas Scouten, the winner of race 1, has taken the lead in race 2 as the Porsches start to struggle in the high track temperatures. BMW M4 silhouette then, Bas Scouten will be ready to hand over to Vard Sly soon. Donald Molinar in second place, the car he shares with Patrick Lamster. Here's the battle between Bob Herbert in fifth and Mark van der Aar in the BMW in sixth position. Van der Aar again squeaking through on the inside as he's done once before. And this time, though, Bob Herbert doesn't get him back down into Eau Rouge. But he has got a good run through an XD Radion. Look at that. Much more speed up the hill. It's a late pass, though, into Les Combes. And Mark van der Aar comes back on the inside, hanging on to fifth place for the moment. More BMW Porsche battling. This time it's Dan Meyer in third, ahead of the black car of Roger Graals in fourth position. Graals again trying to slipstream the BMW up the hill, using the hole in the air the white car punches to increase his own speed to the inside. Can't quite get the overlap he needs. Into the braking area, Dan Meyer hangs on to third place. Looks like the BMWs have just got the legs of the Porsche up the crucial Kemmel Straight. But 6 laps from the end of the race, Roger Graals is cruising back to the pits, out of contention. Quick check over in the pit lane, but there is nothing that the crew can do.
Dit had niet verwacht.
Came totally out the blue, says Roger. Ran up a curb, nothing special, but immediately I felt that something had snapped. Turns out it was the rear suspension. Managed to get back to the pits, and since I've done more than 75% race distance, hopefully I'll still get some points. That'll be some comfort. He will in fact get 1 point for 10th place, so if Bas Schouten and Vard Slice, currently leading the race, can finish higher than 8th, they will take the lead of the championship. In Supersport 1, Dennis de Boerst the leader. There he goes. Then the battle for second. Erik van der Munkhoff with Benjamin Vandenberg trying to come around the outside. Successful move for second place. Van der Munkhoff perhaps not quite 100% yet at Spa after the big crashes last year. Co-driver Henry Zumbrink hasn't had much fortune here in the last couple of years either. Takes over as Erik van der Munkhoff comes in early in the pit stop window. These guys have 25 result seconds added to their pit stop. Set driver Martin de Klein, who takes over from Dennis de Boerst, has 15 seconds. And the Vandenberg brothers, Robert, taking over from Benjamin, have 10. Well, that means that the Vandenbergs move up the order a little after the pit stops. And a lot of work to do for Henry Zumbrink as he heads back out into the fray, hoping to post another good solid result. Vandenberg was second, but a broken suspension cuts a tyre. He drops down the order as Costa Canaroglu goes up into second, and in fact the Vandenbergs fail to finish the race. A trip through the pits does not cure the problem, and they are out. Second place changes hands behind leader Martin de Klein when Luc van Loon gets around Costa Canaroglu. And in fact, the Greek driver ends up finishing in fourth place as Henry Zumbrink charges by him and up into a podium. Mandatory stop for Mark van der Aar. Battle forward to where he started from in fourth place. Could have been much better if he hadn't dropped to 10th at the start. Not my best race at the start. We got bumped by Dan Meyer, damaged the front suspension and realigned the steering wheel. Got stuck behind Bob Herbert for a couple of laps. Yesterday we had engine temperature problems, got up to 106. I was short shifting to keep the temperature down so I couldn't attack. When the temperature came down to 99 degrees, I attacked again, got by him, closed the gap to Dan Meyer, but by then it was time for the pit stop. So yeah, it was a shame really. In the extreme heat, the Hankook tyres are struggling towards the end of the race. Little divine intervention might help. Dan Meyer up to second after the stops in the white silhouette BMW with no result seconds. With 10 result seconds, Koen Bokart now closing in behind in third position and looking for a way by his fellow silhouette driver. Trying to get a run as they come out of Bruxelles and plunge down the hill. Nice tight inside line. Oh, but he loses the rear. And a hard impact with the barriers. And that's the end of the race.
Hopelijk valt de schade mee, hè. We doen het allemaal met sponsorcentjes.
Well, hopefully the damage is pretty limited. We've got to do this with a fixed budget. We just don't have money for accidents. Yeah, sucks big time. Most of the time we have a lot of fun, we've got big smiles on our faces, but this is just the opposite. It's a bitter pill to swallow. We're in third, battling for second. Roger's out of the race, so it's a shame for the championship as well. Really sucks for the guys who are working on this car day in, day out. Not what I had in mind. We'll have to focus on the future now and leave this behind us. Zolder's the next round. We'll be back. Well, after that crash, a full course yellow is thrown. Bob Herber accuses John de Wilde of braking too late for the full course yellow and closing the gap. No penalty for de Wilde though, so who knows what happened. But de Wilde, much quicker on the Kemmel Straight, goes around for third place. But there's no catching Vaardsluis and Bas Schouten. The BMW M4 Silhouette romping away out front to their third win of the season. Their third race in a row, again with the fastest lap. Most remarkable though, Dan Meyer finishing after 5 DNFs in second place. This morning I woke up and I thought, right, 8th, 9th, anything is fine. I would just get a point. It's the 6th race of the season. I haven't got a single point yet, all because of technical failures. I haven't even put a scratch on the car. Well, apart from that big crash in Zandvoort, of course, but that was a different car. So now everything's gone well. I had a good start. Stayed on the inside. My teammate Mark bumped into me. No damage, luckily. That everything was set for a great race. If I could have finished off the podium, that would have been fine as well. But ending up on the podium is absolutely great. And the next round's at Zolder next month. Let's hopefully repeat the result, go even better. It was a great fun weekend. I really enjoyed it. New championship leaders in GT, of course, Vaardsluis and Bas Schouten. Roger Graals down to second, Bob Herber in third spot. Dennis de Boers and Martin de Klein missed out on second in race one by half a second. Now leading the race up to the pit stops and then all the way to the finish line, claiming victory over Ronald and Luc van Loon, with Erik van der Munkhoff and Henry Tumbrink completing the podium in third. Everything went well in my stint. I still had good rubber to work with thanks to Dennis. But towards the end, says Martin de Klein, the car was all over the place, no grip at all. So I was trying all sorts of different cornering lines, but I had to settle to lap times between 240 and 242. It's all I could do. Then we had the full course yellow near the end. I checked with the team where I was. They told me I was 14 seconds up, so I was leading, and that was a nice surprise. And then when the lights went green, I had no problems finishing the race in the lead, taking first place. Just 1 point separates the top 3 teams in Supersport 1, with Erik van der Munkhoff and Henry Tumbrink ahead of Costa Canaroglu, Dennis de Boers and Martin de Klein. In Supersport 2, Ollie Taylor is unstoppable, even without a left-hand door, still setting fastest lap times in the class, averaging 145 kilometres an hour and taking his 4th win in a row. Set lane Supercar driver Michael Smith taking second at an average of 142.7 kilometres an hour. Third, Adam Hayes and Kevin Clark with the Intersport Racing BMW, averaging 141.5. A tight three-way battle at the top of the sport class. The red car is the Alfa 147 GTA of John van der Voort. Chris Vogt in second place in the white and blue Peugeot RCZ. Then the bright yellow and orange of Rob Neiman, third in his Renault Clio. The Alfa drifting out wide, giving away the lead again to Chris Vogt in the Peugeot RCZ on the run up to the bus stop. And Rob Neiman trying to go around the outside in his 1.6 litre Clio, which is a Clio 3 with the Clio 4 engine, but then you knew that. Blue and black car Bart Drost in 4th place in sport class. Then the yellow and orange car Jos Veldboer. And then Kim Troyen 6th in class, looping the red Focus around. Mistake by John van der Voort in the Alfa gives Bart Drost 3rd before the pit stops, but after the stop, Sandra van der Sloot puts the Alfa back up into 3rd spot. Chris Vogt and Bart van der Broek finish in 2nd in the Peugeot, while Rob Neiman wins his first race of the season in the Clio.
We hebben gisteravond de hele auto omgebouwd en de kracht zit op dit moment absoluut in de weg.
Yesterday the crew spent all night trying to convert the car to improve the handling. Feels really good at the moment. I felt really in control. And together with the updates this year, the car's perfect now. The competition had the same problems as me yesterday. In this race, each lap I was able to build my lead. Winning the race with a big gap feels great, especially here at Spa Francorchamps with a little Clio. Bart van der Broek making a little peace offering to Sandra van der Slot to make up for their crash in race 1. It's all forgiven and forgotten, she says. It happened, you can't turn back time. There's no point in staying angry. I know it wasn't his intention, but it was a bitter pill to swallow when it happened, but it's a nice gesture. Chris Foot and Bart van der Broek lead the championship from John van der Voort and Sandra van der Slot. And with that victory, Rob Neiman now moves up to 3rd in the points. And that is it from the super fast circuit of Spa Francorchamps. Next time out, we'll be at the tight and twisty Zolder circuit, another former home of the Belgian Grand Prix. We'll bring you all the action. Join us then. Bye for now. This programme is powered by Hankook Tyres, Autosportinsurance.com, Valero Race and Rally Base Layers, and Magla. Create your own digital magazine.